All right, well, welcome back to the 21st episode of Bullpen Talk. I'm here with my co-host Max Miller, and then a special guest and a former classmate of mine, Bella Burr, and a soccer player at FAU. So welcome to the pod, Bella.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so let's get right into it. So just tell everyone a little bit about yourself, what you're up to, and how your preseason's going.
Yeah, I'm Bella. I'm currently a senior at FAU. This is my first season with FAU. I came from High Point and then previously SMU. Hit preseason about 3 weeks ago, so we're in it. We had our first exhibition and then first real game next week. So busy time right now, but I'm enjoying it. So it's been good.
It's awesome.
Love to hear that. And I guess along those lines, right? Like you said, you came from High Point and then also
Yeah.
SMU,
That's good.
correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's unbelievable. So, what led you down that path? What led you from one school to another, and how did you end up at FAU?
Yeah, so definitely like not a straight line at all. Getting to FAU and like my final like school that I plan on staying at. But kind of starting off, SMU was just like my advisor was like apply to it, see how that goes. All that. Applied, didn't know I was gonna be playing college soccer until a couple weeks before preseason, like that freshman year. So I was set to just go to SMU, like as a regular student. And then sorted some stuff out with the coach, went to an ID camp, and then committed to SMU. So kind of a walk on. It was a rough freshman year. It was definitely like kind of getting used to the college landscape, getting my feet under me, kind of figuring out like what type of player I am like on like this new team. So very much a learning year. Not my finest playing ever, but learned a lot and then went to second like fall season and it was better. Still not quite what I was looking for out of the college experience. Both like didn't like both like school wise and soccer wise. So decided to hit the portal for the first time. Ended up at High Point, which like I don't know if like you guys like remember that was kind of like roster cuts. It was definitely like not a good time to hit the portal, but it was busy. Ended up at High Point. Very thankful to the coach there for taking a chance on me and bringing me in. Um, yeah, played at High Point, had a fall semester that I was like finally happy with. And just happy to like actually like contribute to the team like on the field. Had a great group of friends, like really loved them. Earned a championship, so can't complain at all after that season. And then played another spring semester and kind of wanted to see if I could take it to like the next level from there. So hit the portal again, ended up at FAU, which had kind of been my dream school for a while, and it just worked out. Coach reached out and wanted midfielders, and yeah, we connected and went from there.
I mean, that's a wild story. I hit the transfer portal once, but it was for school, so a little different. But
Yeah.
so you kind of hopped between like conferences, and it was like you went from the ACC. If SM, was it SMU in the ACC at the time you were there, or
So we started. I actually thought I was going to be in four different conferences, like all of my years in college.
okay,
But we started in the American, and then we went to ACC my second year. High Point was Big South, and then FAU's back in the American.
yeah. So I was gonna ask you like, what was that? Because I know a lot of people, talk about the talent gap between conferences, and you obviously did it. You played at basically every level. So what was like the biggest separator between like the ACC, Big South, and obviously you're training with your American teammate, so like you obviously don't know the talent level yet in that conference. Different things that you saw in between conferences.
Yeah, so kind of starting off in the American, that was my first taste of like college soccer. Like, like everything gets like a lot tighter, like passes need to be more accurate, like technical, like less touches, like know what you're gonna do before the ball. So like I kind of like really like enjoyed the American style of play. It was like a good mix of like technical and athletic, which is like where I feel like my strengths kind of lie and part of it was just like that was like my first conference. So I really enjoyed the American a lot. The ACC, it was obviously our first year in it, so it was like a lot of like adjusting, kind of figuring out how our team played. I like to be completely upfront, like I didn't play any ACC teams, so it's tough for me to like be on the sideline and like this is like their style of play, but it definitely was like raised, like a lot more technical, a lot more like kind of trying to play like soccer rather than like more of that blend. But it was awesome to watch. Like, it's like all these teams that like as a little girl, like kind of growing up, like had always like dreamed to like, have some interaction with it. And we were like in the same conference. So it was a fun year. Didn't get much on the field, but like it was fun to watch the games and kind of rewatch them back and see the style of play. Big South, not my favorite conference to be in. Love the people I was with. It was very gritty conference. I feel like it was kind of all the games could go whichever way they went. A lot more like long, like not kickball because like I feel like that has like a negative connotation, but a lot more like longer balls, like try more direct, like is a better way to put it. And then like again, kind of coming back to FAU, like I'm excited to be back in the American and play these schools and like actually like, have an impact on the field this time.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely. I mean, it's unreal to like think about how like you were saying, like as a little girl, you were thinking about all these teams and like you see yourself now in that position, right? Like you're
Yeah,
kind
for
of
sure.
like where you always like dreamed for yourself to be. I guess for people in those shoes, right? Like the people that are looking to play those college sports, what's one thing that you could tell them that like to kind of like keep them going or like kind of like give them one piece of advice as someone who's looking to play college sports
Hmm.
to get themselves there or just like help them when they're making that transition from high school to college.
Yeah, I definitely like, it's like it feels like every like day something new will pop in my head. I'm like, if I could go back to like high school me, freshman me, like just years prior, like this is what I would tell them. So it's hard to narrow in on like one thing. It is tough because like I guess from a recruitment process, I didn't really have one. Like I had no prospect. Like I wasn't going to play college soccer. Like like I guess kind of like more of like a recruiting standard or just like the sports side of it, I guess, is what you're like
I
looking
would
for.
say the sports side of it.
Sports side.
So,
Okay. Yeah. I guess like just be ready to like learn, which is like so generic, but like I remember one time I had a coach tell me, wasn't my favorite coach, but he was like, the player you go into college is pretty much a player you're going to come out, which couldn't have been further from the truth. Like I honestly like look back and I'm like, I can't believe like I would have a coach tell me because like tell me that because the player I am now, like just every single day trying to like learn like players with more experience, players with more like more of a technical side like or an athletic side like trying to add in pieces of like game constantly. So I guess it's just kind of like know that as long as you're putting in like the time to like learn every single day and not just depend on like the player you're coming into college as, like you're going to grow like tremendously.
And I think that's a really good point that you make is the whole idea of like going into college, like willing to learn. Because at the end of the day, I know when you walk in as a freshman to college athletics, like no matter what level you're at, you think you're good because you definitely had to do well in college to get that offer. And now you're playing with the best of the best. And the one thing that they have over you is experience. And, there are some freshmen that can go in and play, but the whole idea of you going in there and willing to learn speaks a lot about yourself, and obviously got you in the position you're at today at FAU. So, just talk about your FAU experience to this point. I mean, you're out in Boca Raton, as we were talking about earlier. That's a dream, I think, for any college, student or athlete. So, how's that been for you?
It's been awesome. I definitely like I'm excited for preseason to kind of like wrap up a little bit and like have more time to just like settle into Boca, settle into like, like making a life like on the side of like soccer and everything this season. But it's like can't complain. We're like 2 miles from the beach, like short drive away, like palm trees everywhere. The weather's like, it's a little bit hot, but like when you hit evenings and it's like really warm, like it's gorgeous. Bunch of stuff going on, like bunch of like little shops, like a lot of stuff going. Like as a senior, kind of looking into like careers and jobs afterwards. Like there's just so much going on. It's been awesome.
yeah, that's wonderful. And I
Sweet.
mean like I guess like on top of that, you're a business administration major if I'm correct. Is that correct?
I graduated last year with my
Okay.
finance, and then now I'm working towards my MBA.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's really
Yeah.
awesome.
Hmm.
And I guess like alongside that, like you're doing you're trying to get your MBA right now
Hmm.
and you're a student athlete. And I'm sure that is like absolutely unreal. Like it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of putting your head down and getting stuff done. I guess my question to you is like how do you let like what part of being that student athlete and playing soccer translates to excelling in your career? And how do you kind of coincide with one another and kind of make them both happen at the same time?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like I think the better you're doing in one aspect of like your life, the better you can do in all aspects of your life. Because there's just like a bunch of transferable skills. Like, every time like going in the job market, like what'd you get out of college athletics? All of those soft skills, like teamwork, communication, time management. So like I think everything plays off. Like everybody's kind of like, oh, like how do you balance the two? But it's more of like the two balance themselves as long as like you stay on top of it. And just, you know, get locked in on one, you get locked in on the other. Like they go hand in hand. So it definitely like translates really well. And then I imagine like after college, like keeping a busy schedule now will make it easier to keep a busy schedule in the future.
For sure. And I guess sorry, Jack, I'm kind of cutting you off here. But
Oh,
like
yeah.
staying busy, I mean, I think we could probably all agree is staying busy is
For
good for
sure.
keeping yourself accountable. So I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then to go off that as well, like you elaborating on the soft skills, I mean, is what gave us the idea to start the second half network with the mentorship program. I think you're participating in it. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a great opportunity, we think, for these student athletes, like you talked about just now, that you guys are able to express your competitiveness and your commitment to something that, a lot of recruiters in the business world overlook. And a lot of times you'll see famous people say like athletes are the best people you want to hire because they, have all these skills that you just elaborated on. So, I mean, I think that the idea that these student athletes are getting overlooked and the amount of times that for a student like you've transferred three times, you've had to, immerse yourself in three different programs, three different coaching styles. I mean, that's hard. I mean, adapting to, circumstances like that's difficult. And hopefully, like, recruiters and people in the job world understand that, like, there's something to said to be about people that can do that. It's gritty, and you're not like you're going to class like a normal college student, but you're also playing athletics as well. So, another question I have on top of that is, what do you think like separates you from like the normal student? So obviously you go to school, you're a student athlete. Like what characteristics do you think that being a like athlete offers to you, and then also like you would be able to offer to a somebody in the job force or workforce?
Yeah. I think kind of the understanding that you need something you're passionate about in life rather than just be so locked in on your work. Sorry, my phone might die. That's my bad.
You're
Um, but yeah, I think kind of knowing that you're gonna do so much better in your direct work if you've got something on the side that you're passionate and working towards as well. Is like kind of my biggest takeaway because if you get too locked in on school, like there's like the soft skills side, but like if you get too locked in on school, like there's not as many there's not enough dimensions to your life to truly put forward like your best foot on what you're trying to focus on. So like I think just kind of that understanding that like it's okay to split your focus. Like you don't need to be completely locked in on one thing to do your best in it, if that makes sense.
absolutely. I
Absolutely.
mean, like people say, it's not only what you know, it's who you know. And there's so many different ways that you can kind of like allocate your time to bettering yourself and not only yourself, but your career path in the future. And that's kind of what we're trying to do at Second Half Network is make it easier for people to allocate their times toward their career development and advancement.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really, really grateful to have you on that platform with us. We're really excited to get that kicked off. But I guess along with that, like when you are super busy, like when you are when you have a full week of like practice and like school and everything like that,
Mhm.
what do you do after like a whole long time, a long stretch of doing all that? And then when you have your day off, what are you doing? Like what's your go-to for a day off?
I guess it's gonna look different day to day. Being
Mm,
near the beach like is a whole new thing because like I know like SMU, in High Point, like didn't have that. So kind of yeah, just enjoy like the area, like get to know it a little bit better. Like in past years, like just find something like I enjoy, find something to learn. Which is like I don't know, kind of nerdy, but like I like picking up like new skills, whatever. And but if it's a decompress, like the beach will definitely be the go-to here.
And as you're, going into your senior year, like looking back at your freshman self, what is like one thing that you're super proud of that you committed to? And also like what's one thing that you look back and you're like, why the heck would I ever do that as a freshman, as a student athlete?
Yeah, one thing I guess proud of. Well, I guess kind of it builds off. So like I'll start with like one thing where I'm like, why the heck would I ever do that? Is kind of abandoning everything like I knew about myself as a player and like surrendering it all to the college game because coming in as a freshman, like being a walk on, kind of like having this position from the start of like, you're here, but like you're like you're a practice player. Like you won't always be in scrimmages. You won't always be in like this, that, like I feel like I kind of like surrendered everything and like only trusted what I was trying to like receive in from like, the coaches, the team, like teammates and everything and like just forgot like who I was as a player. So like I think that big thing is like playing with so much fear, fresh like in like of messing up and not doing the right thing. So like then that kind of takes it into like what I'm proud of. Is more like on that first transfer is kind of coming out of 2 seasons where it was like sidelines, not many minutes, like practice player like type of feel, and just playing scared, not like myself, and then coming into High Point and hitting season and like making a promise to myself like I'm gonna play like me, and then having that come out and what I felt like was like the fool's version of myself, like that season was like a really good one for me and like I kind of feel that continuation coming into FAU. So just proud of like getting out of like that hole of being scared to play.
Absolutely.
It's a good mindset to have,
Yeah,
especially
no,
as you yeah,
absolutely,
especially as
Tyler.
you get older and like I think that's like looking back too as my freshman year is like I knew I was good. It got me to obviously the D3 level, not the D1 level, but I mean, as soon as you go in there and you don't believe in your talents and you don't believe in your skills, that's another battle you're fighting now that you're trying to get on the field. So that's pretty impressive, and I think that translates very well to the workforce as well. You got to do things that you don't want to do, and you got to commit yourself to understanding that one, like you talked about, you're there to learn, and also that you're there to compete at the end of the day. So that's a great mindset to have.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Absolutely. I guess my final question to you is it's not really much of a serious one, but like pre-game, right? And this isn't even going back. I'm not talking like the 15, 10 minutes before a game when you step on the field. What is your
Yeah.
full day of game day pre-game ritual when it comes to a soccer game day?
Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm not going to be much help on this because like as much as possible I try to stay out of a ritual cuz
Hmm.
like I don't know. I don't want my mindset to be so like I need to do this to have a good game. Like I need to like trust like, I'm going to have a good game because like I practiced. So I try not to like create too many habits, but I like usually a lot like just stay consistent with like eating. Like that's like a big like ritual, like snack at the right time, like drinks like electrolytes, creatine and all that. Um I think just kind of like lock in. I don't like to watch any film before because like just kind of like really really focus in on like what I'm gonna do, like what I already know, like all of that. Um, then I guess like locker room, like usually like I'll hone in on like a song that I like to listen to like before every game. Like last season, it was Crystallized by John Summit. Like I would like I don't know, like that was like my one like thing I would let myself have is like I would always like finish locker room with like listening to that. So I don't know what it's gonna be this season, but I'm hoping a song kind of like comes and like is that song for me like this season. But yeah, sorry, not the most exciting answer. I don't have like a step by step, but I don't know. I've got my reasoning. It worked last season, so I'm hoping to carry it into this season.
No, you saying it's not much of a help. I honestly think that's one of the more unique answers. You know, like I feel like just about everyone who plays sports in general has a pregame ritual, and like it's something that makes you unique as a player, I guess, you know. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not all for that EDM though. I mean, that's a bad choice there.
Yeah.
I'm with it. I'm with
But
it. I like it.
my final question is like, what's your plan for senior year? Like, what are you trying to get out of your last, your last year? Maybe you do a grad year of college soccer. What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, so luckily I've got next year. I'm planning on taking it because 2 year MBA, which worked out honestly perfectly. Like I couldn't be more grateful to have like both the extra school year and academics or in athletics. But kind of as a senior, like it's starting to hit me like, everybody like there's people here 3, 4 years younger than me. Like I'm oldest on the team, people are looking up. So I guess like personally it's just continue to play like as freely as like I've been playing like this preseason, just stay locked in, but also like enjoy it. Like again, I told you guys like this first couple of years were not a lot of enjoyment in the sport, and so just really enjoy it and then know that like the rest will come as long as like the work's there. Would love to get time on the field, secure a spot, like as always. And then I think like the other big piece of it is just to really build that culture. Like, like I'm sharing with you guys like the stuff that I've learned, like kind of share that with the freshmen now. Hope that they can get the jump on it that I wasn't able to get. And like, like I've always like loved the idea of kind of like a classless like team where like, you don't know freshmen, sophomore, juniors, like everybody's like kind of one together. So working on that. It's pretty new team, but just build up a really great culture that they're going to talk about like when they're seniors and have freshmen coming in.
I mean, sounds like a good plan to me. So
Hmm.
that's really cool. And I know you've been busy with all the preseason stuff. So we're happy you're able to get on the pod and kind of tell your story for us and
Yeah.
kind of help us preach our idea of that student athletes, need to start like looking at their careers and taking it serious as they, become one, seniors in college and two, just great athletes and leaders on and off the field.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for having me. I
Absolutely.
appreciate
Yep.
it.
Of course, of course.